Joyful, a place where colors bloomed and the air smelled of peace. Every creature in the valley lived a life full of light and happiness. But secrets, even in the happiest kingdoms, always cast a long shadow. Hidden away was the secret treasure, a girl named Rapunzel and her legendary hair. Rapunzel loved her books and the stories they held, but the pages always described a world she had never seen. For years, Rapunzel had meticulously practiced knotting and braiding the strands, an innocent hobby, or perhaps a well-kept plan. Rapunzel wasn't just dreaming of freedom, she was calculating the physics of it. Her intelligence was her sharpest tool, far more powerful than any magic. Now, here comes Gothel. She didn't look like a proper witch, but she certainly acted like one. Her arrival was always the same, loud, demanding, and utterly predictable.
Rapunzel! Rapunzel! Let down your hair for me!
Rapunzel obeyed the mechanical command, but her gaze was focused on her escape supplies, not the view. Gothel was content, convinced Rapunzel was perfectly happy in her gilded cage.
Remember, my sweet Rapunzel, your hair is the only treasure I have. Mother must leave now. Be a good girl and wait for me, Rapunzel.
And just like that, the tower was silent again. But this silence was now filled with opportunity for Rapunzel. Rapunzel knew this world only through her tiny window, but she used her clever mind to see more. Her preparations were always meticulous. Every piece of the puzzle was carefully planned. Her hair was her prison, yes, but Rapunzel had decided to turn it into her escape route. Meanwhile, in the deep woods, a supposed hero was arriving, though hero is a strong word for Flynn.
Where am I in the Seven Kingdoms? Wait, is that a tower?
Flynn was charming, no doubt, but his climbing skills were non-existent. Then, as the sun began to set, Flynn saw a spectacle he could hardly believe.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let your hair down for me.
Aha! I think I've found a shortcut to the top.
The princess moved with practiced speed. Gothel never saw the hidden movements.
Now go, Rapunzel. Mother needs to rest.
The silence returned, giving Flynn the signal he had been waiting for.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel. Mama's home.
Rapunzel was not fooled, not for a single moment, but this was the opportunity she had planned for.
Great! Looks like I finally got lucky.
Flynn had the shortcut, but he didn't account for the strength and speed of a girl who had been practicing this pull for years. He landed, breathless and dizzy, right into a trap set by the brilliant Rapunzel.
Who are you and how did you find me? Talk! Wait, this isn't what it looks like. I just needed a place to hide.
What the hell is this? Let me go! I thought you were...
I know what my mama sounds like. And you are certainly not Gothel.
Rapunzel took control immediately. Her careful planning had led her to this exact moment.
You are going to help me. I need a guide to the outside world.
A guide? My dear, I am Prince Flynn.
I usually require compensation for my services.
Compensation? I believe your compensation is not being left here for Gothel to find.
Rapunzel showed him the stakes of her escape: freedom or an angry witch.
Wait, a witch? I mean, that woman singing hysterically is actually a witch?
She will not be pleased to find a prince here. Your best bet is to help me escape, now!
All right. I'm your guide. But you owe me dinner, Princess Rapunzel.
Rapunzel released him, but she held the leash. She was not taking any chances.
We must hurry. She usually comes back after midnight.
Back in the forest, Gothel felt a prickle of unease. A mother's intuition, perhaps. Whatever it was, it sent Gothel hurrying back towards the tower. Time was running out. They had to be fast, silent, and decisive. Every minute spent in preparation was paying off now.
Down there! So far, Rapunzel!
Go! There's no time to hesitate!
Prince Flynn, the reluctant guide, was learning the hard way that this princess called the shots. Rapunzel was the calm center of the storm.
Slow!
Despite his clumsiness, Rapunzel needed him. She would not let him fall. Then, the movement. Gothel was close, too close. There was no more time for planning. It was time for action.
Hurry, Rapunzel! I hear something coming!
For the first time, Rapunzel felt the grass beneath her feet, and she didn't stop running. Rapunzel was free, but the jungle was vast, and her captor was close behind. Gothel had returned, only to find the unthinkable. Her treasure was gone.
Rapunzel, traitor! You will pay for this!
We need to cross here. It's the fastest route.
Rapunzel knew speed was essential, but only if they could lose Gothel entirely. With her quick mind, Rapunzel improvised, setting a clever trap near the path. Gothel was powerful, but also arrogant, rushing forward without caution. The clever princess had slowed the wicked witch down, momentarily.
Unbelievable! I will find you, Rapunzel!
Nice one, Princess. That's gonna stick.
But the relief was short-lived. They had reached the edge of the known world.
Nope. We turn back, Rapunzel. We cannot cross this.
Rapunzel knew retreat was not an option. She saw her escape. This was her moment of ultimate bravery, to trust her hair and her plan.
Hold on tight, Flynn. We are taking the fast route.
You expect me to rely on hair?
And with a leap of faith, they left the edge of the cliff. The golden strands became a triumphant pendulum, swinging them towards freedom. The thrill of the outside world, finally her own.
This is incredible! You are incredible, Rapunzel!
The great swing was over. They were safe, for now. Gothel saw them, and her rage intensified to a terrifying level.
Let the shadows consume you both.
The witch would not be defeated by a simple swing, but Rapunzel was always one step ahead, anticipating the danger. In the silence of the cave, they shared a moment of exhilaration and survival. Gothel was trapped on the other side, temporarily defeated by geography and Rapunzel's planning. The magic hair was no longer a chain, it was a lifeline.
You truly are amazing, Rapunzel.
Thank you. Now, let's see the sunrise.
Their adventure had just begun, and the world was waiting for the brave princess. As the true sun rose, Rapunzel felt a joy she had only read about.
We should head towards those distant peaks. Civilization lies that way.
Freedom required constant vigilance. Rapunzel knew Gothel would not give up easily. Sure enough, the angry witch was back on their trail, using her magic to track the powerful strands of hair.
Flynn, she is close. We need to lose the signal.
Rapunzel decided to confuse the magic. She used her cleverness to create a maze for Gothel. Gothel was baffled. The magic signals were pulling her in 3 different directions at once.
She is making fun of me. I will use my eyes, not her silly tricks.
They needed a final decisive trap to gain permanent freedom.
This is it, Flynn. The final lure.
I'm with you, Rapunzel. What's the plan?
Rapunzel offered the bait, a glimmer of the power Gothel desired most. Gothel arrived, breathing heavily, convinced victory was hers. The greed blinded the witch. She lunged straight for the gold. Snap! Gothel was caught, utterly humiliated by a simple human trap.
You little trickster! I will never forgive you, Rapunzel!
I am not returning, Gothel. My hair belongs to me.
This was the final step, severing the last physical tie to her captivity. Snip! Rapunzel cut her own hair, the magic was gone, and the princess was truly free.
It suits you, Rapunzel. The freedom look.
With her golden cage gone, Rapunzel finally walked into the world she belonged to. She found the royal family, who had mourned the lost princess for so long. No magic was needed for them to recognize their daughter. The king and queen finally held their precious Rapunzel again. The lost piece was home.
Welcome home, Princess Rapunzel.
Rapunzel had found not only her family, but also a true companion in the charming, if clumsy, Flynn. Their bond was not built on magic, but on mutual respect and shared adventure. And so, Princess Rapunzel ruled her kingdom, never forgetting the tower that taught her strength. She proved that a princess does not need long magic hair to find her destiny. And so Princess Rapunzel showed us that courage and intelligence are the strongest magic spells of all. Once upon a time, in the green and peaceful kingdom of Greater Greensward, there lived a princess named Emma. Emma did not feel like a perfect princess at all. She had bright red hair that always escaped from her ribbons, freckles on her nose, and a dress that was usually a little dirty from climbing trees or running through the gardens. Emma loved adventure more than fancy balls, and she loved books and animals more than stiff royal manners.
Emma, dear, a princess must walk gracefully, not stomp like a baby dragon.
But walking slowly and smiling politely all day felt like wearing shoes that were 2 sizes too small.
Never mind, Emma. The world needs brave princesses too, not just pretty ones.
Emma loved her grandmother very much. One bright afternoon, the palace was buzzing with noise. There was going to be a grand royal party. Emma did not want to meet any prince at all. So, when no one was looking, Emma quietly slipped out of the palace. She hurried down a narrow path until she reached her favorite place in the whole kingdom, the deep green swamp.
Finally! No music, no dancing, no silly princes. Just me and the frogs.
The swamp was calm and cool, with tall reeds, croaking frogs, and dragonflies that shimmered in the sun. She leaned back and listened to the gentle sounds of the swamp.
Yes, yes, I hear you, little frogs.
Excuse me, princess.
Who said that?
Down here, your highness. Hello?
You can talk?
Yes, indeed. My name is Edric. Prince Edric, actually. I am very pleased to meet you.
A talking frog that claims to be a prince. Of course. I must have eaten too much cake earlier.
Please, wait! I am truly a prince. A wicked witch cast a spell on me. Only the kiss of a princess can break the curse.
That's just a silly fairy tale. And even if it weren't, why would I ever kiss a frog?
Because you are kind and brave. And I really don't want to eat flies for the rest of my life.
Flies.
Terrible, I assure you.
Fine. One quick kiss. But if this doesn't work, I'm gonna wash my mouth for a week.
She bent down, closed her eyes very tightly, and gave the frog the quickest, smallest kiss on his cool, bumpy head. There was a flash of green light. The air hummed with magic. Emma opened her eyes. The frog was still a frog, but something else was wrong. Her hands were no longer hands. They were webbed and green. She gasped and looked at her reflection in the pond. Staring back at her was another frog.
No! 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 I'm a frog!
Oh dear.
What did you do?
I don't know. This has never happened before. At least, I think it hasn't.
Emma wanted to scream, but all that came out was a loud, furious croak. For a while, both frogs sat silently on their lily pads. Fireflies blinked around them. Emma finally took a deep breath.
All right. Yelling won't help. We need a plan.
She thought of the one person who understood magic better than anyone else.
My grandmother, Gracina. She's a powerful sorceress. She must know how to undo this.
Excellent! Then let us hop to her at once.
She's not exactly easy to find. And we are, very small now.
Edric puffed out his chest. Emma couldn't help but smile a little. Maybe, so the two frogs, Emma and Edric, began their strange journey through the swamp. The swamp looked very different from down near the water. Tall grasses were like giant walls. Pebbles seemed like boulders. But Emma was brave, and Edric was surprisingly good at finding safe paths. Along the way, they met many strange creatures.
Little froggies, alone in the dark?
A snake slid past them, its yellow eyes gleaming. Emma froze, but Ardric stepped forward.
We are royal and very important. Eating us would bring terrible bad luck.
The snake paused, thought about it, then decided it did not want bad luck and slid away.
That was, clever.
Emma looked at
Thank
Edric with new respect.
I'm good in an emergency.
Next, a huge dragonfly swooped down and almost carried Emma away. Edric leaped and pushed her out of the way just in time,
Edric?
tumbling into the mud.
Are you all right?
I've been slimmier. Let's keep going.
Slowly, slowly, hop by hop, they made their way through the swamp into the deeper forest, where the trees grew tall and twisted.
At last, they arrived at a clearing filled with glowing flowers. Right in the middle stood a small crooked cottage made of roots and ivy. Smoke curled from the chimney in lazy blue rings. Emma's heart lifted.
Grandmother's house.
The door opened before they could knock. Gracina stood there, wearing a robe covered in leaves and stars. Her glasses sat crooked on her nose.
Well, well. I wonder when you two will finally come here.
Grandma, it's me, Emma.
Emma blinked.
Oh, my clever little girl. Of course it's you. Only you would visit me in the form of a frog.
A witch cursed Prince Edric. I tried to help him with a kiss, but now we are both frogs. Can you turn us back to our original...
Gracina frowned thoughtfully. She waved her wand once, twice. Sparkles danced around Emma and Edric. They felt a warm tingle, but when they looked at themselves, still frogs.
The spell is tricky. I can't break it completely. Not yet.
Emma's heart sank.
So we're stuck like this forever?
Of course not. But you will have to do some work yourselves.
Gracina began to explain that the witch who had cursed this prince was extremely powerful. Her magic was tied to a dark charm that she kept hidden.
If you find that charm and destroy it, the spell will shatter.
And where do we find this charming charm?
Deep in the wildest part of the forest. In the witch's own lair. Emma, you have always been brave. And you, Prince Edric, have more courage than you think.
This stone will light your path when the shadows grow deep. Trust in yourselves and trust in each other.
The forest grew darker as they traveled. Shadows stretched long between the trees. Once, a pack of glowing eyes appeared in the bushes. Edric moved closer to Emma.
You don't have to protect me.
I know. I want to.
They pushed on, following a path of twisted roots until, finally, a crooked tower came into view. Vines crawled up its sides. Bats circled the top like a living crown. The witch's lair. They crept inside through a crack in the wall. The tower was filled with jars of sparkling dust, bones and bubbling potions. In the center of the room stood a black pedestal.
Well, well, 2 little frogs in my house. How interesting. Not before I find out who sent you. Gracina, isn't it? She never could mind her own business.
You cursed Prince Edric. You turned him into a frog. And your magic turned me into one too. We're here to end this.
Big words for such a tiny frog.
She raised her staff. Shadows twisted and swirled at the witch's feet. They exchanged a look nodded, and split apart. Emma leaped toward the pedestal, knocking over a potion bottle. Smoke billowed up, making the witch cough violently.
Stop!
Edric jumped in the opposite direction, croaking loudly to draw her attention. The witch, enraged, swung her staff at Edric. A blast of magic shot past him, missing by an inch. Emma reached the pedestal and rushed toward the charm hanging high on the wall. She grabbed it with both webbed hands and slammed it onto the ground. The charm shattered. The witch screamed as the dark smoke wrapped tightly around her, flashed, and then dissolved into nothingness. Emma shielded her eyes. Emma blinked and looked down. Her frog legs were gone. She looked up and saw a young man.
Emma, you're back!
And so are you.
Without thinking, they ran into each other's arms. For a moment, they simply stood there, laughing and breathing, savoring the incredible feeling of being human again.
Thank you, Emma. You saved me.
We saved each other.
After that, Emma and Edric returned to the palace. The queen could hardly believe her eyes when her daughter walked in, muddy but happy, with a real prince at her side. She wore a dress she chose herself.
May I have the honor of this dance, Emma?
I would be delighted, Edric.
And so, in the kingdom of Greater Greensward, the princess who once hated being a princess and the prince who once lived as a frog found their own kind of happy ending. For they had learned that true magic does not only live in spells and charms. It lives in courage, in friendship, and in loving someone exactly as they are.
At the highest levels of the atmosphere, nature's forces are silently accumulating immense energy.
The whole kingdom rejoiced, for a long-awaited miracle had arrived.
As air currents conflict, the world below must prepare for the presence of gods.
And 3 good fairies arrived, bearing gifts woven from pure magic. Beauty wrapped the princess like soft rose petals. Even the birds outside joined in, singing along to celebrate.
My gift is a voice, gentle and sweet.
But suddenly, darkness crept into the joyful day. A dark fairy had come, uninvited and full of anger.
What a celebration! Without inviting me.
With cruel delight, Maleficent cast a terrible curse.
Before her 16th birthday ends, she shall prick her finger and die.
Gasps and cries filled the hall as terror swept over everyone.
I can soften the curse, not break it.
Yet one fairy still had a gift to give.
It moves like an electric pulse through the atmosphere, dominating the night sky with brutal flickering.
But the fairies knew that was not enough.
We must hide her.
So they carried the princess far away, deep into the safety of the forest. A tiny cottage became her secret home. Under their care, Aurora grew, smiling and peaceful. She played among whispering leaves and dancing butterflies. The creatures of the forest trusted her gentle heart.
Flora, you're burning it.
Life without magic turned simple tasks into disasters. But Aurora's laughter always turned mistakes into memories.
Balance is restored, inviting the wings back to their safe haven.
Not far away, a young prince happened to ride through the forest. The sound of her voice stopped him in his tracks.
What a beautiful voice.
Aurora sang freely, unaware that someone was drawing nearer with every note. Startled, she turned to see a stranger.
I didn't mean to frighten you.
Aurora's heart skipped as she hesitated.
I shouldn't be talking to strangers.
Then, let's not be strangers.
Even the forest seemed to approve. Their steps fell in quiet harmony. A warmth bloomed inside her chest.
May I have this dance?
They danced as if the forest had become their ballroom. Yet a strange sadness tugged at her heart.
I have to go. I'm sorry.
She ran, confused by feelings she didn't understand. But an even heavier truth awaited her.
Aurora, we must tell you something.
The fairies revealed the secret they had hidden for years.
I'm a princess?
We only wanted to protect you.
With heavy hearts, they returned her to the kingdom. The castle felt cold, foreign, nothing like her forest home. Then, a strange glow flickered behind her. Maleficent's spell whispered her name. Aurora fell into a trance, unable to resist. She walked through secret passages hidden for years, until she reached a forgotten tower. A spindle hummed with dark magic. And before she knew it, the curse took hold. Aurora collapsed into a deep sleep. The fairies found her too late.
She's gone!
A sleeping spell swept across the castle like a quiet wave. One by one, everyone fell into peaceful slumber. Even the king could not resist the enchantment. The queen drifted into silence as the magic deepened. Aurora slept, untouched by time, sealed in her fate. Her dreams shimmered softly like distant stars. But Maleficent's raven watched from above, always searching. At the sight of Philip, the ravens dived in and attacked. But instead, he stumbled into Maleficent's trap. He was dragged into the dark fairy's fortress. Held captive, he could do nothing but struggle.
Looking for someone, dear prince?
Where is she?
She sleeps. Forever.
With a mocking smile, she vanished. Luckily, the three fairies came to Philip's rescue just in time.
Hold still, Philip.
A burst of magic freed him from his chains.
The shield of virtue.
And the sword of truth.
Armed with enchanted gifts, he was ready to fight. Maleficent summoned a forest of thorns to stop him. But the enchanted blade sliced through the darkness. Nothing would keep him from Aurora. At last, the castle rose before him, silent and still. But the dark fairy awaited his arrival.
Now you shall deal with me.
In a storm of green fire, she transformed into a monstrous dragon. Gracina narrowed her eyes, then clapped her hands. But the prince stood tall, ready for the battle of his destiny. The dragon's flames roared with dark fury. Philip's shield glowed as it blocked the scorching heat.
I won't give up!
The fairies strengthened the sword of truth with magic.
Philip! Strike now! Now!
Maleficent unleashed her greatest fury. Philip climbed higher, gathering his strength.
Throw it!
Light shimmered across the blade. The sword flew like a comet, guided by truth and love. With a final roar, the dragon fell. Darkness shattered. With victory won, Philip rushed toward Aurora. The castle lay silent, frozen in time. His heart raced faster with every step. Gracina gave them a small glowing stone. This will light their way.
I'm here.
She did not stir, still lost in enchanted slumber. With true love in his heart, he kissed her. Magic blossomed like dawn. Joy shone brighter than any spell.
Philip?
The castle awakened, freed from darkness. The king and queen rose with hope in their hearts. Together, Aurora and Philip descended to reunite with their kingdom. A family reunited at last. Before they could step closer, a shadow moved in the corner. She was tall and thin, with hair like tangled straw, and Flora added her own touch. Merryweather disagreed. Their playful magic lit the room with joy. And so, surrounded by love and light,